What's good, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to our second episode of Homegrown Heroes. I'd like to formally introduce our second guest, K-Rock, coming straight out of Atlanta. He's a fashion designer, a creative genius. K-Rock, what's good, bro? How's it going?
What's going on, everybody? Just to start off, I gotta be honest with myself and with you guys. I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from Albany, Georgia. It's in South Georgia. You might not have heard of it. To be honest, a lot of people don't have the blessings and opportunities to make it out of there. So anywhere I go, or my peers, or anybody that I know who's actually made it into something from there, we try to rep it to the full capability. You know, most of us, we got it stamped. I myself, I got it tatted on me. It's just the love from where you come from. So, but I have met a lot of cool people from Atlanta. Some have been a positive blessing in my life. We got right here. Connections go crazy, but just trying to stay true to where I come from.
Yeah, man, I apologize, man. Shouts out to Albany, and I appreciate you staying true to where you're from, bro, man. That says a lot about your character. A lot of people say they're from Atlanta, and they're not. So let's keep it 100, bro. So I appreciate that. We can go ahead and get into this, man, if you like. We can get into a little bit of your background. Can you tell the people where you're from? I know you said Albany. How was life growing up?
I'm from the country, so where I'm from, to be honest, a lot of people, a lot of men down there, they try to take care of, their families and everything, but it's hard. It's not a lot of jobs. It's not a lot of opportunities. So growing up, all we know is, you play ball. You know what I'm saying? Playing ball, honestly, really the only way we knew out where we came from. Obviously, you had a couple people who, somewhere went to college and, just got a good job somewhere. But, like a lot of us growing up, like I told some of my coaches in college, I didn't even know how to register for college. I was, nobody came back to us and was like, this is what you gotta do. This is what major you should do. I just went in and I just seen a major that had something to do with sports and sports science. I was like, pick it. But coming up, man, I would say I was heavy into sports. Everybody down there, if you was a kid, you playing sports. There's no question. Weekends, traveling, sports, it's very competitive.
Yeah.
You might be going to school. You might have a classmate going to school with somebody that the day before you was trying to kill on the field.
Right.
And you got to see them again and over, and it's it's hard and it's a grind, and everybody is so competitive down there. No matter what it is, like you can be walking to the store, girl, I promise you. You can walk to the store with one of your friends, and somebody gonna be like, I bet I can walk there faster than you. It's crazy, it's ridiculous. Like,
That's good though, bro. Like that drives a lot of people, right. Man. That competitive nature. Not a lot of people have that, man, and that molds real good people. A lot of people may see that as an aggressive trait to have, but it's a good one, man. It's just hard out here, man. You got to compete for what you want. Right. So that's what's up, man. That's good that you were raised like that. You were talking about sports. What kind of sports were you playing? Were you playing basketball, football?
Myself and the peers I grew up around, we actually played every sport all the way growing, even in high school. So football, basketball, baseball, and track. It was a year-round thing. To be honest, sometimes like me and my friends, and we still talk about it today, we don't even remember doing homework.
Right.
Just you go to school,
the right practice
till about 10 o'clock at night, and then if you play ball for your school down there, everything's super serious. So you gotta wake up in the morning, practice before school, or wake up before school. Then you gotta wake up after class during school, and then after that, back to practice, film. It's a grind for sure.
Yeah, man. So that grind, it did lead to something great. You ended up playing college sports, college football. Is that correct?
Right.
Talk about that.
It didn't last long.
It's all right.
Let's say that a lot of people still don't know I was even an athlete to begin with. I have to.
You look like one.
Yeah, I try to still do it with some. To be honest, sometimes I have to tell people like, you can just Google my name, type in sport, and it'll pop up. Yeah. But no, I went to Southern to play football my freshman year. I ended up blowing out my quad, so my career was over after that. There was no rehabbing that, and if I did try to, it took like 2 to 3 years to get back to where I was, and mentally, I wasn't there no more, and I was already on another path that I really wanted to do in the first place. So I guess that was just God's plan of saying, look, you did everything you could, and it's time to get on what I want you to do. So.
That's awesome, bro. That's good that you had that adversity in your life, overcoming that injury. That's really mental, bro. Anything like that. So after that, after you left Southern, you came to Kennesaw. Is that correct?
So I took a year off from school.
Okay.
Took a year off from school, moved back home down south. Actually stayed with my my grandma. And everybody knows as a male, you gotta be a grandma baby. That's what it is. And honestly, that was the best decision I think in my life. Like had a lot of outside influence, like me to go to Kennesaw, play football for them. And I think living with her, it molded me into something that became unstoppable in myself. Which it might not make sense, but that year that I was down there it changed me into something bigger and better to where opinions don't even matter.
So, expand on that.
So, I mean, because it's different perspectives. I'm talking about myself. So everybody has their own trials and tribulations.
I think it's real good to have that self-confidence to take in opinions. You take in outside criticism, but at the end of the day, you got to process your decisions by yourself, for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you expand on that.
It's always a rule that we grew up in. Don't never take advice from somebody who wouldn't do or go through anything that you're going through. And so I think that year I had to take back time and look at which route I should follow, and the route that I'm following, who should I study? Who did what, who went where, how did they go about this, how did they go about that? And also myself, am I comfortable with doing it? I had to learn to be uncomfortable. I told one of my homies the other day, I was like, bro, I'm at the stage in my life where I'm comfortable everywhere. People sometimes get uncomfortable with things just because it's not in their best interest. But for me, any situation, I feel like now I'm able to just be calm and comfortable and can, I wouldn't say necessarily do whatever I want to do, but I can put my input in something and feel proud, positive, and confident that it will go about things the right way.
That's what's up, bro. So that year you took off of college, you reassessed, you recalibrated, got your mind right. Is that when you kind of turned your focus to fashion, or was that kind of already in the back burner, or when did that whole thing start?
So, to be honest as possible, I think fashion was just, and it's going to sound crazy, it might sound corny to people because, we're on a different wave now. And a lot of people, in some aspect, it seems like everybody's in the fashion. But for me, bro, it's been there ever since I was little. Like, it was non-stop. Now, all right, I'm going to break it down to where it kind of makes sense. As athletes, right, we want to be comfortable as possible. So we sweat, paying out, take suits, whatever. But when I was little, I was all, even like 5, 6, 7, 8, playing, pee-wee ball and stuff. Going to school, I would want to be the freshest athlete. Going to like the grocery store. My mom, she would be like, put on some clothes. Or if we going just to put on some clothes, like my dad, he was all, like how all the retro things are now. He's had probably every single pair of Jordans out that ever existed. His shoe game is ridiculous. So coming in with my dad's side, he was the first person I acknowledged from what is it now? Street style.
Okay.
And then my mom, she was more so of the high fashion, or as our culture knows it, bougie.
Mm.
She's wearing heels everywhere. It's so I think being able to mix those two together and growing up with it, and it trickles down all the way to my ancestors. my nana, my granny, all them. Right, it's nonstop. They come. It might be a Tuesday, nothing going on. They coming in the crib, just dressed out, just fly.
Got to.
So
Gotta be.
it's always been.
Yeah, man. I think it's definitely in our culture, like you said, just us coming up. You got to dress to impress. Your mom don't want you going out there looking crazy, looking presentable, you know. And coming up, I know you came up. You said it was kind of a struggle somewhat, but you know when it comes like that, you got to put your clothes together a certain way. You got to work with what you got. Is that did that kind of inspire you? Putting pieces together like that, or was it kind of just natural? Did it take time?
No. Any time you wanna, oh man, he put me on the spot. Anytime you wanna put a piece of you into something,
Right.
it's gonna always come from your issue, regardless if you want to acknowledge it or not. So the first place that I remember mentally growing up, and before I put that in, it was crazy, is when I was little. My dad, I actually lived with it. Like before I think I was like 5 years old, my dad and uncle lived up here, so my mom, we all moved up here and lived in Atlanta for a little bit. And then went back to Albany and lived in Putnam.
All right.
So my first collection is gonna be called Fail from Putnam.
All right. That's dope.
And I remember every single type of, I would say, style, just going to the mall, and I got older friends in the neighborhood. I'm 5 years old, hanging out with middle schoolers and high schoolers and watching them rip up pieces and attaching it to something that I just thought was super interesting. You know, man, and just the area and the environment around me. Like, I would say sometimes, like even going out to this day, you know, you see a lot of people walking around with their headphones and AirPods.
Right.
I kind of leave that at the crib. I kind of want to pay attention to what's going on, the sounds and the environment of how things make you feel, like if a bug coming flying you, how it feels when it touches you and stuff like that. And that environment from Putney, that's kind of the construction site that I'm building for the first collection.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much
That's dope,
the
bro.
start of it.
Okay. I know we don't want to get too into the collection, but can you shed some light? When can we expect that, or where can people kind of find and get that if they're interested?
Yeah, so it's funny. It's like I'm getting that every day. I'm gonna say God's timing.
Okay.
I put a mark on it. I put a calendar time and a fashion calendar on myself. But the thing, I've been working on this for like 5 years, bro.
That's awesome, bro.
And I still haven't put it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll wear some things here and there to like see how people react to it. But I think it's when it's just ready.
Right.
And it's not up to me. It's not up to anybody around me. It's not up to a powerhouse fashion organization coming to be dropping a certain amount of money on me to say, we need you to put it out now. I think it's really up to God's timing, bro. Like, if it wasn't for him putting me through certain situations to even find out that I was good at it, I wouldn't be here talking to you about it right now. So.
Well, that's awesome, man. If you spent 5 years and you haven't put nothing out, man, don't drop it on Homegrown Heroes, bro. You feel me? But yeah, man, that's dope. 5 years in the making. So a lot has happened in these last 5 years. Have you had to kind of like grow and mature? Is that kind of why you haven't putting it out? Stuff changes. I mean, fashion and culture changes constantly. So
it's a constant. I would say it's a constant change. You have to keep up with how everything looks. I myself, back in the day, love 501 Levi's. 501 Levi's and Air Maxes. You know, that's a fit. I'm going. I'm probably, if it's a game day and we got a game at home, I'm going to the mall just to buy those and wear it through school. You don't see people wearing 501 Levi's anymore. You know, the Dickies coming back. Down there, we grew up wearing Dickie suits, yay high. But like you said, it changes. Certain pieces that I started on back then, I still have it made, but how can I put it? I'm still happy with it.
Yeah.
But it's not the right time for those pieces to be exposed yet.
Okay.
I don't think, because every time I drop something, I want people to kind of feel a connection, not only with myself, but when they wear it. I don't want them to wear it to be like, oh, am I just flying?
Yeah.
I want them to wear it in the aspect of, am I who I want to be when I'm putting this on?
Right.
So just keeping a lot of that in the storage and memory, just going back and forth from files to having sketchbooks this big, just ripping pages out at 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
balling them up, you know. Yeah, man, I'm trying not to go back in circles with it, but
Oh man, it's good, man. It sounds like you're a true artist and you want to perfect your craft, and that's true art. Like I can feel the vibes coming off you right now. The true artist in you. You don't want to just put something out just to put it out. It's got to mean something. It's got to hit the people right. And I feel like when you do decide to put it out, it's gonna do exactly that.
Hope so.
Yeah, man. So getting into you talking about your mom had high fashion kind of style. Your dad was more street. Do you look up to any certain designers in the game today? You know, you got the high fashion designers. I know you go on the Gucci's, the Christian Dior's. Do you really pay attention to that, or are you kind of in your own lane?
If you want to be serious about anything, you obviously got to pay attention to the people that's been in the game before our grandparents were born.
Right.
That's just, you got to do your homework. You know, as far as looking up to people. Right now, a lot of people, they know who I look up to. But I would say, it's more so of a connection to when you hear your favorite artist talk about something.
Right.
Do it sound like they're really putting their energy and mind and soul into what they're doing? Or do they just have the resources to have somebody that they're cool with to just put millions of dollars in a product, and all they gotta do is, just show up and be like, I'm feeling blue today. So just make me something in blue and I'll come back the next day. For myself, I'm not fortunate enough to have those resources.
Right.
So, a lot of times, most of the time, unless like the group that I have now, it's all me, and I have to kind of do my homework on people that came from the ground up like me. Like obviously, Jared Lorenzo, Fear God, or Don C. That's who was on the Kanye team, and I was with Nike. I can go on for
Very
days.
cool. What are your thoughts on Kanye?
I mean, you really can't say anything politically correct. Everybody knows he's a genius at what he does.
Right.
Everybody got an opinion.
Right.
A lot of people might not like what I say sometimes, and they got to live with the choices.
Right.
But as far as what his mission is, when he went through the music industry, now he's smashing the fashion industry. I understand it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I myself might not understand the wording that he said with certain things, but he's his own man.
Exactly.
And as a man, sometimes you got to stand on and honor what you're talking about, and he's doing that. He hasn't backtracked. But yeah, I'll definitely watch and study into him a lot.
He's definitely, in my opinion, if you're trying to get involved in fashion, he's someone to look into, because coming in as a rapper into the fashion industry, people may think because rappers wear all this high fashion stuff that they're in with these people, but they're not. To be honest, they're outcasts. So for him to come in, pave a way, and for him, honestly, to be a black man in America, saying and doing what he feels like, he's brought a lot to our culture. He doesn't say the right things sometimes, but I mean, you can't kill the man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's done some great things for us, and he may not say the right things, but he's saying what he wants, and he's a black man in America, and that's hard to do. So
it's very hard to do.
I commend him on that, at least. So we'll divert from that.
I would add something to it though.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
think a lot of people who they might know his pieces and the things he put out, but I don't think a lot of people research and do a lot of history in the Dapper Dan.
Okay.
I would say, and I think I tweeted this a while ago, a minute ago, and he just came out with a book. I don't know if that was his first book, the second book not too long ago, and it's touring on interviewing and stuff. But even before then, reading articles on him and stuff, I would say he was the one that kind of changed my life as far as entering the fashion industry and what so. Even though I'm not in the industry, I myself would say you're never in the industry until you can call up a meeting with somebody from Gucci or somebody from Versace or somebody from Chloe or somebody from Off-White or Nike and really be able to have a meeting. Until you able to assess that, I would say I don't want to really say power, but it's kind of like authority. I have the authority to do that.
Mhm.
You're not really in it yet.
Yeah, man. Because especially if we're talking about high fashion, I did want to ask you this question. I know you spend a lot of time on your work. Do you see your clothes being more high fashion or more kind of like retail oriented? And by high fashion, you know what I mean, like
Right.
200 plus t-shirt. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you think your stuff is that good, then I personally believe that you should sell it for that much. If you put 5 years into something and you want to set it at a price, it should be set that way. So tell the people, what are you thinking?
And that's crazy that you asked me about that because Doug went back on the Dapper Dan, and as an artist in general or a person that works, you always want to put your price at the highest price you can get it at. In Dapper Dan, he was saying that why would I lower my price for clothing when my people don't even understand what I'm doing it for? So if I can mark my clothing and sell a t-shirt for $1,000, and maybe my culture of people might not buy it, but let's say somebody across the world, they buy it, and I can use that money to buy back buildings and properties in my community, and instead of them being able to access the resources to buy my clothing, I can now open up a studio to teach them how to make it.
Right. That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So it's just, as an artist and working and an entrepreneur and whatever you choose to do, it's a conflict of, do I want to make it accessible enough for the people that I know that don't even have it like that to wear it, or do I want to mark it up to the highest price that I can just to use that money to double back and, build up my own community,
That's dope. And I'm assuming that's your plans. Like if you do make it big, giving it back to Albany and those people, bro, that's dope, man. It's always good to stay true to where you came from, because if you can't go back to where you're from, then what's it for, man? You lost yourself. So let's go ahead and get into this fashion art gallery.
Okay.
I know y'all had a big reception last year. It was a hit out the ballpark. In my opinion, I couldn't make it, but I will definitely be there this year. Tell the people about that, man.
So I want to say maybe 2018, maybe somewhere around that time. I myself, I was hitting the streets hard. And the streets, I mean, different venues and events and marketing events and social events to kind of eye out the audience for myself. I do that just to see, what people choose to wear and how they want to wear their clothes. So, kind of staying in tune with what's going on.
That's dope.
But over time, I was like, man, it's not necessarily a place where people can come and express themselves to the full capability and still have a good time and not have to pay $100 to get in.
Right.
We talk about our parents and how they grew up. They had fun for maybe $10.
Right.
And the whole crowd, audience, everything's super packed, And now things have changed. Everything's marked up super high. So starting off, I was going to different venues, different hotels, different owned residence locations, cities, and just asking them would they even allow to have a conversation with me on an idea that I think would be beneficial to them and for our generation.
Okay.
You know, and I got denied. I got denied a lot.
It happens.
And it's crazy that my colleague, she's the one that kind of brought me into the Atlanta scene to be able to be around rappers who, you know, like my styling, my choice of clothing, and meeting their peers and, you know, getting cool with them. Her name is Kiana Harris. She brought me around, and I was telling her, like, the whole time I was working under her and assisting her as a stylist, I think that we need to find somewhere that we can have something that's more accessible for us, because we don't really have that. Right. And I had a video shoot one day with an artist, and I needed to go pick up some clothing and stuff, and I had to go to the W.
Right.
And it was crazy because the day before I got denied again. And went in there and I met this guy. He looked at me. He was like, man, who are you?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm nobody. You know, I'm just a regular guy, man. Like, I go to school. Yeah. I'm just here. I got a job to do. Boom, boom, boom. He was like, nah, I see you here too much. He was like, you here too much, and the people I see you with, you know, you kind of know something. I told him, you know, I'm an assistant stylist in Atlanta. These are the people that I work with. And then I asked him about himself. I was like, you know, what do you do here? Boom, boom. And he told me, he was like, he's marketing for events and stuff at the W, and he was trying to find a way to get youth back into the building. And immediately, as soon as he said that, I looked at him and I said, if you're serious, I will pack this out. And if you're serious, I will email you the second I walk out of here. He was like, I'm serious. You know, we talking about people that's in their 40s who've been doing this, you know, this is their career. They get salary on this. So I'm like, nah, he's not gonna hit me back. I walked out, made it back to the video shoot, sent me an email. Said, let me know when you can have a meeting, sit down. And from that moment on, he put his trust in me and my team. So I met with him just by ourselves for 4 weeks straight. You know, 4 weeks straight, every single week, same time. Just giving him an idea on what I think should happen and how it should happen. And I also wanted him to realize that it's not even about our generation anymore, because no matter what people say about a generation always looks up to another generation. So I said, instead of this just being about the youth, let's try to get as many in ages of all type of people involved in it. So, you know, he trusted in me. We had a lot of disagreements back and forth on certain things. Obviously, he don't own the W. So he still has to answer to certain people, you know, and it's kind of frustrating when you're an artist in whatever field that you choose to be in. It's restricted. So you can't really put it out. And then I told him I got a team that I trust that'll help make this as smooth as possible. And me and my team, we probably met, no joke, bro, every week for the first one, because we just finished our second one in January. That was the second one. It had to be 6 months. And, you know, my team consists of entrepreneurs and people that own their own business. You know? So it's like, I'm trying to make sure we can all be together at the same time, because some people, they might gotta fly to Cali. Me and Keys, we gotta go work at New York Fashion Week. You know, it's just constant stress on getting people involved. But I think once we hit that stride, and with the group that, you know, and in anything too, like what you got going on, you probably hit up a lot of people to get involved. And you know, certain people, they wasn't with it.
They weren't, you know, but it's okay. It comes with it, you know.
So
you gotta shrug it off, and that's the thing. Like you being persistent, going back to the W constantly, that man noticing you, that's really what sparked the conversation. I just wanted to really get your perspective, bro. I know you say you've been working at this for about 5 years. how far do you really see this whole fashion thing going for you?
For myself, I want to make it to where my kids got something, and everybody can sit in the same seat as me and say the same thing, you know. But I want it for my kids. I want it for my family. I want it for my family that I have in Africa, my family that I've had in Peru. To if they need a job, and you know, my goal right now is to put my and I hate saying that word, creation, because I hate saying creative, but I want to put that out to be able to double back on that, use the resources with that, and build a community and a factory and other opportunities for somebody that might need a startup on something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, for instance. You might be able to start your platform, right? And you get big, you blow up, go surpass the Breakfast Club, the Joe Budden podcast environment, and everything, you know. And you might realize like it'll help others, including myself, to use my platform now to get them involved.
Right.
So now everything is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't I want to have my own factory in an environment that I'm from, to be able to just have full accessibility into it?
That's awesome.
You know? So my goal is, you know, till I'm deceased. Yeah. And when I'm deceased, I want it to be able to carry on. And if it don't carry on, you know, I just want my kids and the family that I do have that didn't have the opportunity as I had to look at it and be like, you can actually do something.
Right.
You know, just, you know, put in the work and be accessible. Yeah. Be accessible to the audience outside of just what you used to. Yeah. You know, so regardless of I'm blessed to have kids and they might not be interested in that. Right. You know, they might be interested in building toys or something, something crazy that they want to do. I just want it to be known that you can do it, and I want to have the resources and connections that I have to provide for them. Right. You know?
That's awesome, bro. It really feels like you embody what we're really trying to do here at Homegrown Heroes. Right. Really seems like you're trying to inspire those around you. Kind of let everybody eat around you, set up a platform so everybody can be successful, not just yourself. Because a lot of people become successful and they don't really come back and let people know how they got there. I mean, it's real easy to just come back and tell people what you did wrong. It's not what you did right, but what you did wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't do that.
And to not even cut you off, I don't know if I told my team this, or if I tweeted, because Twitter is like, everybody knows Twitter. I'm the Twitter.
Yeah, you're a philosopher.
When I study artists and people, we don't study to see how great they did. We study to see what they did wrong.
Right.
And a lot of people might not notice that. Right. No matter how big of a platform and how great they are at something, they went wrong somewhere to where they could have been better than that. Exactly. So why not try to study that too? Mm-hmm. You know. So
learn more from your losses than your wins. You know what I'm saying? So like after we cut this, I'm gonna go back and watch this and see everything that pissed me off that I did wrong. You know, I'm gonna come back, we're gonna do it better. Yeah, man. So but I really appreciate you hanging out with us, man, coming on to our platform. I'm really trying to highlight you. I want to give the floor to you. If you want to let the people know where they can follow you at, and if you got merchandise out right now, they can go cop it or anything like that.
I got you. As far as me and you going, when it comes to merchandise or clothing or whatever, if somebody really wants something, they can, DM me, email me, or text me. It's not hard. I'm very accessible, and I can create something for them. Instagram handle is KRock McLean. I'm not really I'm trying to get better at posting a lot more.
Yeah, man, posting.
I'm trying to get more at posting.
We're gonna boost it.
Like honestly, one friend, a lot of social media isn't a thing.
Yeah. It's a tool now, though.
It's a big tool that you gotta use. If you have a business and a platform, you need to get on it. But yeah, they can follow the Fashion Art Gallery page on Instagram to check on updates. We're gonna be doing a challenge real soon, and we're gonna be donating to certain people if they, go about the challenge the right way. So, Fashion Art Gala, that's one handle on Instagram, and then Care Up and Plan, that's one other Instagram handle. And as far as merchandise, or if they want anything personally made for them, they can always contact me, DM me, text me, call me. You know what I mean?
All right.
It don't really matter. Pretty much, I'm accessible.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Hell yeah. That was one take.